Welcome to I Am Stoic channel. 10 ways to emotionally detach from someone. It's beyond challenging when you are in a relationship that's unhealthy or toxic. It's simply heartbreaking because these relationships do more harm than good. Sometimes things get so bad that one of the few options you have is to emotionally detach from the person, whether it's a toxic parent, child, family member, friend, colleague, or employer. You have to choose your sanity and mental health and stop allowing the unsafe person to wreak havoc in your life. Not everyone knows how to detach from someone, and this means different things depending on your relationship options and who you are. But you can learn how to emotionally detach yourself from the toxic person and find your way back to who you are or want to be. Not every person has the same ideas about what it means to emotionally detach from someone. Here's what it could mean to emotionally detach from a person. You avoid a situation or toxic person that's causing you stress, anxiety, or harm. In essence, you dampen or numb your emotions because you don't engage or deal with what's happening. It's like you bury your head in the sand and hope the toxicity will go away all on its own. You create and maintain boundaries that help protect your mental health. When you enforce boundaries, you decrease feeling stressed, angry, resentment, or disappointed when your limits are ignored or pushed to the extreme. You become less attached to the person, their behavior, and their feelings while you reevaluate what you perceive as your connection. Then you adjust how much you emotionally invest in the person to make the relationship more manageable and safer for you. Essentially, you take a step or a few steps back from the relationship, and for example, if someone was in your inner circle, you now see them as an acquaintance or someone you interact with as little as possible. Well, I will teach you on how to do this. I will tell you 10 ways. Let's not waste any time. Way 1. Understanding control and accepting reality. In the labyrinth of human emotions, the Stoic principle of distinguishing what we can and cannot control serves as a guiding light. This principle, known as the dichotomy of control, is fundamental to Stoic philosophy. It teaches us to discern between the elements of our lives that lie within our control and those that do not, offering a pathway to emotional freedom and resilience. By focusing our energy on what we can influence and accepting what we cannot, we cultivate a sense of peace and clarity that is essential for emotional detachment. At the heart of Stoicism lies the belief that our judgments, intentions, and actions are within our control, while external events, the actions of others, and the outcomes of our efforts are not. This distinction is crucial for understanding how to navigate emotional entanglements. When we internalize this principle, we begin to see that our emotional responses often stem from our perceptions and judgments, rather than from the events themselves. For instance, the pain of a breakup is not merely about the separation itself, but about our thoughts and beliefs regarding the relationship and its end. To embrace this Stoic insight, we must cultivate a mindset that consistently differentiates between controllable and uncontrollable aspects of life. This practice starts with self-awareness. By regularly reflecting on our thoughts and feelings, we can identify when we are focusing on things beyond our control. This awareness allows us to redirect our attention and energy toward aspects of our lives where we can affect change. It is a process of continual adjustment and mindful attention, where we learn to let go of futile attempts to control the uncontrollable and instead invest in shaping our own attitudes and actions. Acceptance is the companion of control in this philosophical journey. To accept reality as it is without resistance or complaint is to align ourselves with the natural order of the world. Acceptance does not imply passivity or resignation. Rather, it is an active engagement with life as it unfolds. It means acknowledging the truth of our circumstances and responding with wisdom and equanimity. This approach can transform our emotional experiences, allowing us to face challenges and changes with grace and composure. Consider the loss of a significant relationship. The end of such a connection can feel devastating, leaving us grappling with a sense of loss and helplessness. However, by applying the Stoic dichotomy of control, we can navigate this emotional terrain more effectively. We acknowledge that we cannot control the past or the decisions of others. What lies within our control are our thoughts about the situation, our reactions, and our future actions. By focusing on these controllable elements, we empower ourselves to move forward constructively, rather than remaining mired in sorrow and regret. The practice of acceptance involves a deliberate shift in perspective. It requires us to view our experiences through a lens of objectivity and detachment. This does not mean we become cold or unfeeling. Instead, we cultivate a balanced emotional state that allows us to respond rather than react. For example, when confronted with disappointment or rejection, we can remind ourselves that these experiences are part of the human condition and our worth is not diminished by external events. Through this practice, we build emotional resilience and develop the capacity to maintain inner peace amidst external turbulence. Incorporating the principles of control and acceptance into our daily lives can be facilitated by specific Stoic practices. One such practice is negative visualization, where we contemplate potential losses or difficulties before they occur. This exercise prepares us emotionally and mentally, reducing the impact of unforeseen events. By imagining the loss of something or someone we value, we learn to appreciate them more deeply while simultaneously reducing our attachment. This paradoxical approach strengthens our ability to accept loss and change when they inevitably occur. Another effective practice is the nightly reflection, a technique where we review our day and assess our responses to various situations. This reflective exercise helps us identify moments when we allowed external events to dictate our emotions, providing an opportunity to recalibrate our approach. By consistently engaging in this practice, we reinforce the habit of focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. The Stoic emphasis on rationality also plays a crucial role in mastering control and acceptance. Rationality allows us to examine our emotional responses and challenge irrational beliefs that fuel negative emotions. For instance, if we find ourselves devastated by a breakup, rational analysis can help us see that our happiness does not solely depend on another person, and that we possess the inner resources to rebuild and thrive. By applying reason to our emotional experiences, we dismantle the false narratives that often amplify our suffering. In summary, the Stoic principles of control and acceptance offer profound insights into managing emotional detachment. By distinguishing between what we can and cannot control, we reclaim our power and direct our efforts toward meaningful actions. Acceptance allows us to embrace reality as it is, fostering a sense of peace and resilience. Through mindful practices such as negative visualization and nightly reflection, we internalize these principles and apply them to our daily lives. Ultimately, the Stoic path to emotional detachment is not about numbing our feelings, but about cultivating a balanced, resilient, and rational approach to life's inevitable changes and challenges. Way 3. Practicing mindfulness and present moment awareness. Mindfulness and present moment awareness form a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, providing essential tools for emotional detachment. These practices help us maintain focus on the present, enabling us to observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop the ability to respond to situations with clarity and calmness, rather than reacting impulsively. This way explores the Stoic approach to mindfulness, offering practical techniques to integrate this practice into our daily lives. In Stoicism, mindfulness is deeply intertwined with the concept of living in accordance with nature. The Stoics believed that true contentment arises from aligning our actions and thoughts with the natural order of the world. This involves being fully present and engaged in each moment, recognizing the transient nature of our experiences. By staying present, we can better appreciate the beauty and value of our current circumstances, rather than being consumed by regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. One of the primary benefits of mindfulness is its ability to create a space between stimulus and response. In this space lies our power to choose how we will respond. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of our automatic reactions and gain the opportunity to pause, reflect, and choose a more considered response. This is particularly important when dealing with intense emotions or challenging situations. By observing our emotions without immediate judgment or action, we can prevent ourselves from being swept away by them. Breathing exercises are a fundamental technique for cultivating mindfulness. The act of focusing on our breath anchors us in the present moment, helping to calm the mind and reduce stress. A simple practice involves taking deep, deliberate breaths, paying attention to the sensation of the air entering and leaving the body. This practice not only enhances our awareness, but also provides a steadying influence during times of emotional turbulence. Whenever we feel overwhelmed, a few moments of focused breathing can help restore our equilibrium. Meditation is another powerful tool for developing present moment awareness. Stoic meditation differs somewhat from Eastern traditions, emphasizing reflection on philosophical concepts and daily experiences. One effective Stoic meditation involves contemplating the impermanence of life. By reflecting on the transient nature of all things, we learn to cherish the present moment and reduce our attachment to outcomes. This meditation fosters a sense of gratitude and acceptance, allowing us to navigate life's changes with greater ease. Journaling is a practical exercise that complements mindfulness practice. By writing about our thoughts and emotions, we externalize them, making it easier to observe and analyze them objectively. Stoic philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius advocated for daily journaling as a means of self-examination and improvement. This practice helps us identify patterns in our thinking, recognize irrational beliefs, and track our progress in cultivating a mindful, present-focused mindset. Mindfulness also involves a shift in how we perceive and engage with the world around us. Instead of viewing our experiences through the lens of judgment and attachment, we learn to see things as they are. This objective perspective allows us to accept situations without becoming emotionally entangled. For instance, when facing criticism or rejection, mindfulness helps us separate the event from our self-worth, enabling us to respond constructively rather than defensively. A practical application of mindfulness in daily life is the practice of single tasking. In our fast-paced, multitasking world, it is easy to become distracted and scattered. By focusing on one task at a time and giving it our full attention, we enhance our efficiency and reduce stress. Single tasking encourages us to immerse ourselves in the present moment, whether we are working, conversing, or relaxing. This practice not only improves our performance, but also deepens our enjoyment and satisfaction in our activities. Another valuable technique is the practice of mindful observation. This involves paying close attention to the details of our environment and experiences. Whether we are eating, walking, or interacting with others, mindful observation helps us stay engaged and grounded. For example, when eating a meal, we can focus on the flavors, textures, and aromas, savoring each bite with full awareness. This practice enhances our appreciation of everyday moments and fosters a deeper connection to our surroundings. Mindfulness also plays a crucial role in managing stress and emotional reactivity. By maintaining present moment awareness, we can better recognize the early signs of stress and take proactive steps to address it. Techniques such as body scanning, where we mentally scan our body for areas of tension and consciously relax them, help us stay attuned to our physical and emotional states. This awareness enables us to respond to stressors with calmness and composure, rather than being overwhelmed by them. In conclusion, mindfulness and present moment awareness are integral to the Stoic approach to emotional detachment. These practices help us stay centered and focused, allowing us to observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. By incorporating techniques such as breathing exercises, meditation, journaling, single tasking, and mindful observation into our daily routines, we cultivate a resilient and balanced mindset. This enables us to navigate life's challenges with clarity and calmness, fostering a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Through mindfulness, we learn to embrace each moment as it comes, fully aware and engaged, thereby enhancing our ability to emotionally detach and thrive in the face of adversity. Way 4. Reframing thoughts and cognitive distancing. Stoicism teaches that our perceptions shape our emotional experiences. How we interpret events determines how we feel about them. By mastering the art of reframing thoughts and practicing cognitive distancing, we can alter our emotional responses and achieve a greater sense of peace and detachment. This way delves into these powerful Stoic techniques and provides practical steps to incorporate them into our lives. The concept of cognitive reframing involves changing the way we perceive and think about a situation. In essence, it is about viewing events from a different perspective to alter their emotional impact. The Stoics believed that our judgments, rather than the events themselves, are the true sources of our distress. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, emphasized this point by stating, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." To begin the process of cognitive reframing, we must first become aware of our automatic thoughts and interpretations. This requires mindfulness and introspection, as we often react to situations without conscious thought. By pausing to examine our initial reactions, we can identify the underlying beliefs and assumptions that shape our emotions. For instance, if we feel rejected by a friend's behavior, we might initially think, "They don't care about me." By recognizing this thought, we can challenge its validity and consider alternative explanations, such as the friend being preoccupied or stressed. Once we identify our automatic thoughts, we can actively reframe them. This involves looking for evidence that contradicts our initial interpretation and considering more balanced viewpoints. For example, instead of thinking, "My friend doesn't care about me," we might reframe it to, "My friend is going through a tough time and might not have the capacity to reach out right now." This shift in perspective reduces the emotional sting and fosters a more compassionate and rational outlook. Cognitive distancing is a complementary technique that involves creating psychological distance between ourselves and our thoughts. This practice helps us observe our thoughts as transient mental events rather than as truths that define us. The Stoics advocated for viewing our thoughts from an external standpoint, much like an observer watching a play. By detaching from our thoughts, we gain the ability to evaluate them objectively and choose how to respond. A practical way to practice cognitive distancing is through the use of the third-person perspective. Instead of thinking, "I am feeling anxious about the upcoming meeting," we can rephrase it to, "John is feeling anxious about the upcoming meeting." This simple shift in language creates a sense of separation from the emotion, allowing us to analyze it more calmly and rationally. By treating our thoughts and emotions as experiences that happen to us, rather than as intrinsic parts of our identity, we reduce their power over us. Another effective technique for cognitive distancing is the practice of labeling our thoughts and emotions. When we experience a strong emotion, we can acknowledge it by saying, "I notice that I am feeling anxious," or "I see that I am having the thought that I am not good enough." This act of labeling creates a buffer between us and our immediate reactions, giving us the space to respond with greater clarity and control. The Stoics also recommended the use of perspective taking to cultivate cognitive distancing. This involves imagining how a wise and impartial observer might view our situation. By considering how a Stoic sage like Epictetus or Seneca would interpret our circumstances, we can gain valuable insights and guidance. This practice encourages us to adopt a more detached and rational viewpoint, reducing the intensity of our emotional responses. Journaling can be a powerful tool for both cognitive reframing and distancing. By writing about our thoughts and emotions, we externalize them and create an opportunity for reflection. In our journals, we can challenge our automatic thoughts, explore alternative perspectives, and document our efforts to reframe and distance ourselves from our emotions. This practice not only helps us process our experiences, but also serves as a record of our progress and growth. Another practical application of these techniques is the use of Stoic maxims and aphorisms. These concise, powerful statements encapsulate Stoic wisdom and serve as reminders to reframe our thoughts and maintain a detached perspective. For example, when facing a difficult situation, we might recall Epictetus's teaching, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Repeating such maxims can reinforce our commitment to Stoic principles and guide us in moments of emotional turmoil. In summary, cognitive reframing and distancing are essential skills for achieving emotional detachment and resilience. By changing the way we interpret events and creating psychological distance from our thoughts, we can alter our emotional responses and cultivate a more balanced and rational mindset. These techniques empower us to take control of our inner lives, regardless of external circumstances. Through mindfulness, introspection, perspective-taking, and the use of Stoic maxims, we can integrate these practices into our daily routines and develop a more peaceful and detached approach to life's challenges. Wave 5. Embracing impermanence and letting go. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies an acceptance of the impermanence of all things. Embracing the transient nature of life is crucial for emotional detachment, allowing us to let go of attachments and accept change with grace. This way explores the Stoic understanding of impermanence, providing insights and practical techniques to help us internalize this principle and apply it to our emotional lives. The Stoics believed that everything in life is temporary, from our possessions to our relationships and even our own existence. Recognizing this impermanence helps us appreciate the present moment and reduces our attachment to external things. By accepting that all things will eventually change or come to an end, we can cultivate a mindset of gratitude and detachment. This acceptance allows us to cherish what we have without becoming overly dependent on it, fostering resilience in the face of loss. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the practice of negative visualization, also known as premeditatio malorum. This involves regularly contemplating the loss of the things we value, such as our loved ones, health, or possessions. Far from being a pessimistic exercise, negative visualization helps us prepare for life's inevitable changes and develop a deeper appreciation for what we have. By imagining the worst-case scenarios, we become more resilient and less likely to be overwhelmed when faced with actual loss. For example, we might visualize the end of a close relationship, not to dwell on sadness, but to remind ourselves of the preciousness of our time together. This practice encourages us to act with kindness and gratitude while we still have the chance, rather than taking our relationships for granted. When the inevitable end comes, whether through a breakup or death, we are better prepared to accept it with equanimity. Another technique for embracing impermanence is the daily reflection on mortality, or memento mori. The Stoics often reflected on their mortality as a way to stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. By contemplating our own death, we are reminded of the fleeting nature of life and the importance of living in accordance with our values. This practice can be profoundly liberating, helping us let go of trivial concerns and focus on what brings genuine fulfillment. A practical way to integrate memento mori into our lives is to set aside a few moments each day to reflect on our mortality. This could be as simple as keeping a reminder on our desk or wearing a piece of jewelry that symbolizes this concept. During these moments, we can consider how we are spending our time and whether our actions align with our deepest values. This reflection fosters a sense of urgency to live meaningfully and reduces our attachment to superficial pursuits. The Stoic practice of viewing life as a series of roles we play also helps us embrace impermanence. Marcus Aurelius likened life to a play where we are actors assigned different roles by the universe. Our job is to perform these roles to the best of our ability without becoming too attached to them. When the play ends or our role changes, we can gracefully move on to the next act, knowing that it is all part of the natural order. This perspective encourages us to see our relationships and circumstances as temporary roles we inhabit. Whether we are a partner, friend, or employee, we perform these roles with dedication and integrity, but we do not define ourselves solely by them. When a role ends, we can let it go without losing our sense of self-worth or purpose. This detachment allows us to navigate transitions with greater ease and resilience. Gratitude is another powerful tool for embracing impermanence. By regularly practicing gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This mindset helps us appreciate the present moment and reduces our fear of loss. When we are grateful for our experiences and relationships, we are less likely to cling to them desperately. Instead, we can enjoy them fully while they last and let go gracefully when they end. A practical exercise for cultivating gratitude is to keep a daily gratitude journal. Each day, write down a few things you are grateful for, focusing on the transient nature of these blessings. This practice helps reinforce the Stoic principle of appreciating the present without becoming attached to it. Over time, it fosters a sense of abundance and contentment, making it easier to let go when the time comes. Stoic meditations on the nature of change can also help us internalize the concept of impermanence. The Stoics observed that change is a fundamental aspect of the universe, and resisting it only leads to suffering. By accepting change as natural and inevitable, we can reduce our emotional resistance to it. Meditating on the cycles of nature, such as the changing seasons or the growth and decay of living things, can deepen our understanding and acceptance of impermanence. Incorporating these meditations into our daily routine can be as simple as spending a few minutes each day observing nature. Notice how plants grow and wither, how the weather changes, and how life continually evolves. Reflect on how your own life is part of this larger pattern of change. This practice helps us see ourselves as interconnected with the natural world, fostering a sense of acceptance and detachment. In summary, embracing impermanence and letting go are essential components of Stoic philosophy. By recognizing the transient nature of all things, we can cultivate a mindset of gratitude and detachment. Practices such as negative visualization, memento mori, role-playing, gratitude journaling, and meditations on change help us internalize these principles and apply them to our emotional lives. Through these techniques, we learn to appreciate the present moment, reduce our attachment to external things, and navigate life's inevitable changes with grace and resilience. Way 6. Building emotional resilience through self-discipline. In the journey toward emotional detachment, self-discipline plays a pivotal role. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of self-control and discipline as means to achieve inner tranquility and resilience. By cultivating self-discipline, we strengthen our ability to manage our emotions, respond rationally to life's challenges, and maintain a sense of balance and peace. This way explores the Stoic approach to self-discipline and offers practical strategies to build and sustain emotional resilience. The Stoics believed that self-discipline is essential for living a virtuous life. According to them, a disciplined mind is one that can resist the temptations of immediate gratification and instead focus on long-term well-being and personal growth. Epictetus, one of the prominent Stoic philosophers, famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This mastery over oneself, achieved through self-discipline, is fundamental to emotional detachment. One of the key aspects of self-discipline in Stoicism is the ability to control our desires and impulses. Desires often lead to attachment and consequently to emotional suffering. By moderating our desires, we reduce our dependency on external circumstances for our happiness. This does not mean we should suppress all desires, but rather that we should cultivate moderation and focus on what truly matters. A practical way to develop self-discipline is through the practice of voluntary discomfort. This involves deliberately exposing ourselves to mild discomforts to build resilience and strengthen our willpower. For instance, we might choose to skip a meal, take a cold shower, or abstain from certain luxuries for a period of time. By doing so, we train ourselves to endure discomfort and reduce our fear of it. This practice helps us realize that we can handle adversity and that our happiness does not depend on constant comfort or pleasure. Another effective strategy is setting and adhering to personal goals and commitments. By establishing clear goals and consistently working towards them, we develop a sense of discipline and purpose. These goals should be aligned with our values and long-term aspirations rather than fleeting desires. For example, committing to a regular exercise routine, a healthy diet, or a meditation practice can enhance our physical and mental well-being, fostering greater emotional resilience. Self-discipline also involves managing our time and priorities effectively. The Stoics valued the prudent use of time, recognizing that it is one of our most precious resources. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, advised, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." By prioritizing our activities and avoiding distractions, we can focus on what truly matters and reduce stress and anxiety. This disciplined approach to time management helps us stay grounded and present, enhancing our overall well-being. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools for cultivating self-discipline and emotional resilience. Regular meditation practice helps us develop greater awareness of our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to observe them without being carried away by them. This heightened awareness fosters self-control and the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. A simple mindfulness meditation involves sitting quietly, focusing on the breath, and gently bringing the mind back whenever it wanders. Over time, this practice strengthens our capacity for self-discipline and emotional regulation. Journaling is another valuable practice for building self-discipline. By reflecting on our daily experiences, goals, and challenges, we gain insights into our behavior patterns and areas for improvement. Journaling helps us track our progress, celebrate our successes, and identify obstacles to our self-discipline. For instance, if we find ourselves frequently procrastinating, we can explore the underlying reasons and develop strategies to overcome it. This practice enhances our self-awareness and commitment to personal growth. Stoic philosophy also emphasizes the importance of living according to our values and principles. By aligning our actions with our core values, we cultivate integrity and inner strength. This alignment requires self-discipline, as it often involves making difficult choices and resisting temptations that do not serve our higher purpose. For example, if honesty is a core value, we might need to practice self-discipline in being truthful, even when it is uncomfortable or inconvenient. This steadfast adherence to our values builds a strong foundation for emotional resilience. Another critical aspect of self-discipline is the practice of gratitude. By regularly acknowledging and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This practice fosters a sense of contentment and reduces our desire for external validation and material possessions. A simple gratitude practice involves writing down 3 things we are grateful for each day. This habit helps cultivate a positive mindset and enhances our emotional resilience. Finally, seeking support from a community or a mentor can significantly enhance our self-discipline and emotional resilience. The Stoics valued the support and guidance of wise and like-minded individuals. Engaging with a community that shares our values and goals provides encouragement, accountability, and inspiration. A mentor or coach can offer valuable insights, feedback, and motivation, helping us stay committed to our path of self-discipline and personal growth. In summary, self-discipline is a cornerstone of emotional resilience and detachment in Stoic philosophy. By controlling our desires, managing our time effectively, and aligning our actions with our values, we build inner strength and reduce our dependence on external circumstances for happiness. Practices such as voluntary discomfort, goal setting, mindfulness meditation, journaling, and gratitude enhance our self-discipline and emotional well-being. By seeking support from a community or mentor, we reinforce our commitment to personal growth and resilience. Through self-discipline, we achieve mastery over ourselves, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with grace and equanimity. Way 7. Developing an inner fortress through virtue. In Stoic philosophy, virtue is the bedrock of a well-lived life. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are the foundation of our character and the key to building an inner fortress that shields us from the vicissitudes of life. By cultivating virtue, we develop a robust inner life that is resilient to external events, fostering emotional detachment and inner peace. This way explores how to integrate these virtues into our lives to build emotional resilience and detachment. Wisdom is the virtue of making sound decisions based on reason and knowledge. It involves understanding the nature of the world and our place in it. To cultivate wisdom, we must continually seek knowledge and strive to understand our experiences. This involves studying philosophy, reflecting on our actions, and learning from our successes and failures. Wisdom helps us see things clearly and make decisions that align with our long-term well-being rather than succumbing to short-term impulses. Practically, we can develop wisdom through regular reflection and study. Setting aside time each day to read philosophical texts, contemplate their meaning, and apply their teachings to our lives fosters a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. Journaling our thoughts and experiences can also help clarify our thinking and reinforce our commitment to living wisely. By seeking out mentors and engaging in thoughtful discussions, we further enhance our wisdom. Courage is the virtue that enables us to face challenges and adversities with confidence and determination. It involves acting rightly despite fear, recognizing that some things are beyond our control, but our responses are not. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to act in accordance with our principles despite fear. By developing courage, we build resilience to life's difficulties and maintain our integrity in the face of adversity. To cultivate courage, we must practice facing our fears and stepping outside our comfort zones. This can involve taking on new challenges, speaking up for what we believe in, or making difficult decisions that align with our values. Regularly reflecting on past experiences where we acted courageously can reinforce our belief in our own strength. By setting small, achievable goals that push us beyond our usual limits, we gradually build the confidence to tackle larger challenges. Justice is the virtue of treating others fairly and with respect. It involves recognizing the inherent worth of all individuals and acting in ways that promote harmony and fairness. Justice is essential for building strong, supportive relationships and fostering a sense of community. By practicing justice, we create an environment that supports our well-being and the well-being of those around us. Practically, we can cultivate justice by examining our interactions with others and striving to act with fairness and empathy. This involves listening actively, considering different perspectives, and seeking mutually beneficial solutions to conflicts. Volunteering our time and resources to help those in need can also strengthen our sense of justice and connection to our community. By standing up for what is right and challenging injustice when we encounter it, we reinforce our commitment to this virtue. Temperance is the virtue of self-control and moderation. It involves managing our desires and impulses to avoid excess and maintain balance in our lives. Temperance helps us resist temptations and make choices that align with our long-term goals. By practicing temperance, we avoid the pitfalls of overindulgence and maintain our focus on what truly matters. To develop temperance, we must practice mindfulness and self-regulation. This involves paying attention to our impulses and making conscious choices to moderate our behavior. Setting clear boundaries and limits for ourselves can help us avoid excess in areas such as eating, drinking, spending, and working. Regularly reflecting on our actions and their consequences can also help us stay aligned with our goals and values. By integrating these virtues into our lives, we create an inner fortress that protects us from external disturbances. This inner strength enables us to maintain our equilibrium in the face of adversity and respond to life's challenges with resilience and grace. The practice of virtue not only enhances our emotional well-being, but also fosters a sense of purpose and fulfillment. In addition to cultivating these virtues individually, it is important to recognize their interconnectedness. Wisdom guides us in understanding what is right, courage enables us to act on that understanding, justice ensures that our actions benefit others as well as ourselves, and temperance helps us maintain balance. Together, these virtues create a comprehensive framework for living a good life. Practical steps to integrate these virtues into our daily lives include setting specific, actionable goals for each virtue, seeking out role models who exemplify these qualities, and regularly reflecting on our progress. Creating a personal code of conduct based on these virtues can serve as a constant reminder of our commitment to living virtuously. Engaging in community activities and discussions about ethical living can also provide support and inspiration. In conclusion, developing an inner fortress through the cultivation of virtue is essential for emotional detachment and resilience. By embracing wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we build a strong foundation for our character that enables us to navigate life's challenges with grace and integrity. These virtues provide the framework for a fulfilling and meaningful life, allowing us to maintain inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Through consistent practice and reflection, we can integrate these virtues into our lives and strengthen our inner fortress, fostering emotional resilience and detachment. Way 8. Practicing mindfulness and present moment awareness. Mindfulness and present moment awareness are key practices in Stoic philosophy instrumental in achieving emotional detachment and resilience. By focusing on the present moment and observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we gain greater control over our reactions and reduce our attachment to external events. This way explores the Stoic approach to mindfulness and provides practical techniques to incorporate these practices into our daily lives. Mindfulness in the Stoic sense involves being fully present and aware of our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings. It is about observing our internal and external experiences with a calm and detached attitude. The Stoics believed that by staying present, we can prevent our minds from being overwhelmed by past regrets or future anxieties, thus maintaining a state of inner tranquility. One of the central tenets of Stoic mindfulness is the practice of prosoch, which means continuous attention to our thoughts and actions. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this practice in his writings, urging himself to waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1. This directive highlights the importance of mindful action and self-awareness. To cultivate mindfulness, we must first develop the habit of paying close attention to our thoughts and feelings as they arise. This can be achieved through regular meditation practice. A simple mindfulness meditation involves sitting quietly, focusing on the breath, and gently bringing the mind back to the present moment whenever it wanders. This practice helps us develop the skill of observing our thoughts without becoming entangled in them. Another effective technique for enhancing present moment awareness is the practice of single tasking. In our multitasking world, we often divide our attention among multiple activities, leading to increased stress and decreased productivity. By focusing on one task at a time, we can improve our concentration and perform each task with greater care and attention. This approach aligns with the Stoic emphasis on deliberate and purposeful action. Engaging in mindful activities such as walking, eating, or even performing household chores can also enhance our present moment awareness. When we perform these activities mindfully, we focus fully on the sensations and experiences of the present moment. For example, when walking, we can pay attention to the sensation of our feet touching the ground, the rhythm of our breath, and the sights and sounds around us. This practice not only grounds us in the present, but also helps us appreciate the simple pleasures of everyday life. Journaling is another valuable tool for practicing mindfulness. By writing about our thoughts and experiences, we externalize them and create an opportunity for reflection. Journaling helps us gain insights into our behavior patterns, identify areas for improvement, and reinforce our commitment to mindful living. For instance, at the end of each day, we can reflect on moments when we were mindful and moments when we were not, and consider how we can improve our mindfulness in the future. The Stoics also advocated for the practice of amor fati, which means loving one's fate. This involves accepting whatever happens with a sense of gratitude and openness. By embracing the present moment and viewing all experiences as opportunities for growth, we cultivate a resilient and positive mindset. This acceptance reduces our resistance to change and helps us maintain equanimity in the face of adversity. To integrate amor fati into our lives, we can practice reframing challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. For example, if we face a difficult situation at work, we can view it as a chance to develop new skills or demonstrate our resilience. By adopting this mindset, we transform obstacles into stepping stones and reduce our emotional attachment to specific outcomes. Mindfulness also involves recognizing the impermanence of all things. The Stoics believed that everything in life is transient, and by accepting this, we can reduce our attachment to external circumstances. Reflecting on the impermanence of life helps us appreciate the present moment and reduces our fear of loss. This practice can be integrated into our daily lives through regular contemplation of the transient nature of our experiences and possessions. Practicing mindfulness in our interactions with others can also enhance our emotional detachment and resilience. By listening actively and responding with empathy, we build stronger, more meaningful connections. Mindful communication involves paying full attention to the person we are speaking with, without interrupting or planning our response while they are talking. This practice fosters mutual respect and understanding and helps us respond more thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. To further enhance our mindfulness, we can incorporate Stoic exercises such as the evening review. At the end of each day, we can reflect on our actions and thoughts, considering whether we lived according to our values and remained mindful throughout the day. This practice helps us identify areas for improvement and reinforces our commitment to mindful living. Another practical application of Stoic mindfulness is the practice of premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. This involves imagining potential challenges or setbacks we might face in the future and considering how we would respond mindfully and with equanimity. By preparing ourselves mentally for possible difficulties, we reduce our fear and anxiety and strengthen our resilience. In summary, mindfulness and present moment awareness are essential components of Stoic philosophy, crucial for achieving emotional detachment and resilience. By cultivating continuous attention to our thoughts and actions, practicing single tasking, engaging in mindful activities, and journaling, we enhance our ability to stay present and maintain inner tranquility. Embracing Amma Fati, recognizing impermanence, and practicing mindful communication further reinforce our emotional resilience. Through regular reflection and the premeditation of challenges, we prepare ourselves to face life's difficulties with grace and equanimity. By integrating these practices into our daily lives, we develop a robust inner life that is resilient to external disturbances, fostering emotional detachment and inner peace. Way 9. Understanding and managing emotions. Stoicism teaches that emotions are natural responses, but that how we manage and interpret them significantly affects our well-being. Stoics believe that while we cannot always control our initial emotional reactions, we can control how we respond to these emotions through rational thought and deliberate action. This way delves into the Stoic understanding of emotions and provides practical strategies for managing them to achieve emotional detachment and resilience. The Stoics categorize emotions into two main types: positive and negative. Positive emotions such as joy and love arise from virtuous actions and thoughts aligned with our values. Negative emotions such as anger, fear, and envy stem from irrational judgments and attachments to external things beyond our control. According to Stoic philosophy, our goal should be to cultivate positive emotions while minimizing and transforming negative ones. One of the foundational Stoic practices for managing emotions is the use of reason to examine and reinterpret our initial reactions. When we experience a strong emotion, the Stoics recommend taking a step back and asking ourselves a series of reflective questions. What is the source of this emotion? Is it within my control? Am I interpreting the situation rationally? By analyzing our emotions through the lens of reason, we can identify irrational thoughts and replace them with more balanced perspectives. For example, suppose we feel anger towards someone who has wronged us. Instead of reacting impulsively, we can pause and reflect on the situation. We might ask ourselves whether the person acted out of ignorance or malice, whether their actions truly harm us, and whether our anger serves any constructive purpose. Through this reflection, we may realize that our anger is based on assumptions or expectations that we can choose to let go. Another key Stoic technique is the practice of cognitive distancing. This involves separating ourselves from our thoughts and emotions to view them objectively. One way to achieve this is by using the third person when reflecting on our experiences. For instance, instead of thinking, "I am angry," we might think, "John feels anger right now." This subtle shift in perspective helps create distance between ourselves and our emotions, making it easier to analyze and manage them. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of premeditation or premeditatio malorum. By anticipating potential challenges and negative emotions, we prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally to handle them more effectively. This practice reduces the shock and intensity of our reactions when such events occur. For example, before a stressful meeting, we might visualize ourselves remaining calm and composed regardless of the outcome. This mental rehearsal strengthens our ability to respond rationally when the situation arises. In addition to cognitive strategies, Stoicism advocates for the regulation of emotions through physical practices. Exercise, deep breathing, and relaxation techniques can help calm the body and mind, reducing the intensity of emotional reactions. Regular physical activity, such as walking or yoga, promotes overall well-being and resilience, making it easier to manage stress and maintain emotional balance. Mindfulness meditation is another powerful tool for managing emotions. By practicing mindfulness, we develop the ability to observe our thoughts and feelings without becoming entangled in them. This practice enhances our awareness and acceptance of our emotional states, allowing us to respond with greater clarity and composure. A simple mindfulness exercise involves sitting quietly, focusing on the breath, and observing any arising thoughts or emotions without judgment. The Stoics also believed in the importance of living in accordance with our values to maintain emotional equilibrium. When our actions align with our core principles, we experience a sense of integrity and inner peace that buffers us against external disturbances. Regularly reflecting on our values and ensuring that our decisions and behaviors align with them helps us stay grounded and resilient in the face of emotional challenges. Gratitude is another practice that can transform our emotional landscape. By focusing on what we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from negative emotions and cultivate a positive mindset. A daily gratitude practice, such as writing down 3 things we are grateful for, can enhance our overall well-being and reduce the impact of negative emotions. Additionally, the Stoics recommend the practice of sympatheia, or universal connectedness. Recognizing that we are part of a larger whole and that our experiences are interconnected with those of others helps us cultivate empathy and compassion. This broader perspective can diminish the intensity of personal grievances and foster a sense of common humanity, reducing feelings of isolation and enhancing emotional resilience. Finally, seeking support from a community or a mentor can significantly aid in managing emotions. Sharing our experiences and receiving guidance from others provides valuable insights and encouragement. Engaging in discussions about Stoic principles and how to apply them in daily life can reinforce our commitment to emotional management and detachment. In summary, understanding and managing emotions is a crucial aspect of Stoic philosophy. By using reason to examine and reinterpret our emotions, practicing cognitive distancing, and anticipating potential challenges through premeditation, we can reduce the impact of negative emotions and enhance our resilience. Physical practices, mindfulness meditation, and gratitude further support emotional regulation. Living in accordance with our values and recognizing our interconnectedness with others fosters a sense of purpose and empathy, while seeking support from a community or mentor provides additional strength and guidance. Through these practices, we develop the ability to manage our emotions effectively, achieving greater emotional detachment and inner peace. Way 10. Cultivating acceptance and letting go. Central to Stoic philosophy is the concept of acceptance, acknowledging and embracing the realities of life, including those beyond our control. By cultivating acceptance, we release ourselves from the grip of negative emotions and attachments, fostering emotional detachment and resilience. This way explores the Stoic practice of acceptance and provides practical techniques for letting go and finding peace amidst life's uncertainties. The Stoics recognize that much of our suffering arises from our resistance to the inevitable changes and uncertainties of life. They believe that by accepting these realities with equanimity, we can free ourselves from unnecessary distress and find inner peace. Acceptance does not mean resignation or passivity. Rather, it is an active choice to embrace reality as it is and focus on what is within our control. One of the key Stoic practices for cultivating acceptance is the distinction between what is within our control, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions, and what is beyond our control, external events, other people's actions and circumstances. This concept, known as the dichotomy of control, forms the foundation of Stoic resilience. By focusing our energy on what is within our control and letting go of attachment to what is not, we can maintain inner tranquility regardless of external circumstances. To apply the dichotomy of control in our lives, we must practice discernment and acceptance. When faced with a challenging situation, we can ask ourselves, can I change this? If not, how can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? By shifting our focus from trying to control external events to managing our internal responses, we empower ourselves to find peace and resilience in any situation. Another Stoic practice for cultivating acceptance is the contemplation of impermanence. The Stoics recognize that all things, including our own lives, are subject to change and eventual decay. By acknowledging the transient nature of existence, we can let go of attachments and appreciate the present moment more fully. Reflecting on the impermanence of life helps us prioritize what truly matters and reduces our fear of loss. A practical way to integrate the contemplation of impermanence into our lives is through regular meditation or reflection. Taking a few moments each day to contemplate the fleeting nature of our experiences and possessions can foster a sense of gratitude and detachment. This practice helps us let go of attachments to material things and focus on cultivating meaningful relationships and experiences. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of embracing adversity as an opportunity for growth. Rather than resisting or lamenting difficult circumstances, we can choose to see them as challenges to overcome and lessons to be learned. This mindset shift allows us to approach adversity with resilience and adaptability, rather than succumbing to despair or frustration. A practical technique for embracing adversity is the practice of amor-fati, or love of fate. This involves accepting and even embracing whatever happens to us as if we had chosen it ourselves. By viewing every experience, whether positive or negative, as an opportunity for growth and learning, we cultivate a sense of acceptance and gratitude. This practice empowers us to find meaning and purpose in even the most challenging circumstances. Gratitude is another powerful tool for cultivating acceptance and letting go. By focusing on what we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from what we lack and towards what we have. A daily gratitude practice, such as keeping a gratitude journal or simply reflecting on our blessings, can foster a sense of contentment and appreciation for the present moment. This practice helps us let go of unrealistic expectations and cultivate acceptance of life as it unfolds. In addition to these practices, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate a broader perspective on life. By recognizing our interconnectedness with all living beings and the universe as a whole, we can gain a sense of perspective that transcends our individual concerns. This broader perspective fosters empathy, compassion, and acceptance of the diverse experiences of humanity. Finally, seeking support from a community or mentor can provide additional strength and guidance on the path of acceptance and letting go. Engaging in discussions about Stoic principles and sharing our struggles and successes with others can reinforce our commitment to acceptance and resilience. By connecting with like-minded individuals, we find solace in knowing that we are not alone in our journey towards greater peace and equanimity. In summary, cultivating acceptance and letting go are essential practices for achieving emotional detachment and resilience in Stoic philosophy. By embracing the realities of life, practicing the dichotomy of control, contemplating impermanence, and embracing adversity as an opportunity for growth, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and find peace amidst life's uncertainties. Gratitude, a broader perspective on life, and seeking support from a community further support our journey towards acceptance and inner peace. Through these practices, we develop the resilience to face life's challenges with grace and equanimity, finding serenity in the midst of chaos.